3, Scene 2. We are alone with Juliet. This is pretty much right after all the drama in Act 1 happened, or in Scene 1 happened. So I need to explain something before this happens. Back then, if the marriage had like a 2-item checklist to be considered legitimate. 1, it had to happen in a church. And 2, it had to be, quote-unquote, consummated, meaning the bride and the groom had to do it with each other. Then the marriage is 100% official. It can't be canceled or annulled by anybody, for the most part. So Juliet is waiting for the night to come so the marriage can be fully consummated. So she can do that with Romeo. Not because she's lusty, because she wants her marriage to be full and real. And remember, this is her married husband, so she's not like being promiscuous. So this is fairly long. So we'll play a little bit and talk and how we normally do it. Here we go.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately.
So, sun, it's a bunch of allusions. Sun, please set. Please set fast so it's night.
Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms untalked of and unseen.
So, love performing night, that love will happen during the night. Make it so Romeo will leap to my arms. Like, bring Romeo to me.
Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods.
Okay, come black, come night, civil night, and then she says, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. So maidenhood, maidenhead, maiden virginity. Hey, we'll lose a pair of them tonight. Now, I'm pretty sure Juliet's a virgin, at least she thinks so, but I'm pretty sure Romeo is not. But whatever.
Hood my unmanned blood baiting in my cheeks with thy black mantle till strange love grow bold. Think true love acted simple modesty.
So I'm blushing. There's blood in my cheeks. I'm anticipating.
Come, night. Come, Romeo. Come, thou day in night. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back.
So, that would lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. That's the same imagery that he used for her earlier. So he's, like new snow on a raven's back, lightness on darkness, high contrast. He called Juliet like a rich Jew in an Ethiop's ear earlier. Like she stands out.
Come, gentle night. Come, loving black-browed night. Give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun.
So this is very similar to what Romeo said about Juliet in the balcony scene. So when Romeo dies, cut him up in little pieces, put him in the heavens, and he'll be so beautiful as stars that no one will want the sun anymore. He will outshine or outbeauty the sun. And remember, Romeo says, rise fair sun, kill the envious moon. That's Juliet. Juliet is like the beautiful bright thing that's making the moon jealous.
Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed.
So I bought the mansion of a love, but have not possessed it. So it's like I bought this mansion, but I haven't possessed it yet. I haven't owned it yet. I've only paid for it. So, yeah, I'm in this marriage, but I haven't enjoyed anything about being in marriage yet.
So tedious is this day as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes...
So tedious is this day. There's a syntax. This day is tedious. You guys know that when it's the day before an important event, time passes strangely. This is like the night before a festival where an impatient child wants to put on new clothes, but he can't because the festival's happening. Or the festival's not until tomorrow. You guys know that. Just being anxious over, the good kind of anxious, over something that's going to happen. Then enter the nurse with cords. That's the rope ladder that she had gotten, or Romeo told her to get.
My nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the cords.
Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Why do you wring your hands? It's like rubbing them together in kind of a harsh manner. Normally people do that when they're angry or they're frustrated or they're contemplating something. But Juliet tells something's wrong. So, what's going on? Because you can tell Juliet's super happy and the nurse is not. And the nurse... So, a bunch of times in this play, the nurse plays dumb. So we saw that with the first scene with her when she was at Juliet and Juliet's mom. And also when she came back from getting news from Romeo, she was distracted and she overtold a story and clearly was not focused on the subject, but that was deliberate. She's going to do that here, but I don't think it's deliberate. I think she's actually overwhelmed. So Juliet says, "What's the news? Why do you wring your hands? Like, what's going on?" And the nurse says,
Where a day, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. And like the day he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
So, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. Who do you think Juliet is thinking is dead? So what's wrong? He's dead! Juliet is immediately going to think Romeo. Duh. Now, this is something that's called dramatic irony. When we know what has happened, but the characters don't know, or one of the characters don't know. So the meaning of the situation is different. We know the nurse means Tybalt, but we know that then Juliet, because she doesn't know that, means Romeo.
Can heaven be so envious?
That's a very powerful and beautiful and sad line. Can heaven be so envious? It's like heaven was envious, was jealous of Romeo. So what they do? They killed him so he can go back up there.
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Whoever would have thought it, Romeo?
And again, the nurse says, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it? Who would have thought that Romeo killed Tybalt? That's what we know, but Juliet hears, who would have thought that it was Romeo that was dead?
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice.
Okay, what devil art thou that dost torment me so? Why are you tormenting me like a devil, like a fiend, like a demon? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. This is this kind of stuff that people say in hell to torture. Hath Romeo slain himself? Because Juliet doesn't know. What happened to him? Did he kill himself? Say thou but I. Say you but I. If you say I, or but I, death-darting eye of cockatrice, that's a mythical creature that turns you to stone. It's like, I'll be turned to stone.
I am not I if there be such an I. All those eyes shut that makes the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
So, if he be slain, if he's killed, if he's dead, say I, yes, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine my weal or woe. Whatever you say will make me happy or sad. Say yes or no. And she's going to pull a Romeo here and not going to be straightforward. She's going to be still vague.
Saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here on his manly breast. A piteous course, a bloody piteous course. Pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
So was Romeo dead, yes or no? And the nurse says, I saw the wound. I saw it with my own eyes. And so this just doubles in Juliet's brain. What has happened? Romeo's dead. I swooned at the sight. I fainted. And then Juliet says something, uh, says some very powerful and sad lines right here. We'll let them play and then we'll talk.
Oh, break my heart, poor bankrout, break at once. To prison eyes ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth to earth resign, end motion here, and thou and Romeo press one heavy bier.
So, break my heart. My heart is broken. My eyes will never be free again. And then when she says, and thou and Romeo press a one heavy bier, I think she's talking about herself here. You, meaning I, and Romeo press a one heavy bier. A bier is a place where you lay dead bodies. We will both be dead. And now the nurse.
Tybalt, the best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dearer lord. Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Alright, so that's some powerful stuff. So now the nurse had something. Tybalt, the best friend I ever had. Really, lady? You didn't talk to him this whole play. You didn't even mention him this whole play. She probably liked him, but okay, whatever. That ever I should live to see thee dead. And the Joan was like, what storm is this that blows so contrary? What storm, chaos that has happened? Romeo slaughtered and Tybalt dead. Both Romeo and Tybalt, my dearest cousin, my favorite cousin, and my dearer lord, my husband. For who is living if those two are gone? Well, if they're dead, everyone is dead to me. Those are the two people I was closest to. And then nurse says,
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
There we go. That's what you should have opened with, nurse. Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished. He's banished. Oh, she finally says it. Well, now this is super confusing.
Oh, God! Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas.
Shed Tybalt's blood is a nice way of saying, did he kill him? Now, what's going to happen here, and we're going to see this from Juliet, one of the limitations of drama is that there's no narration. There's no narrator. We can't say, and then Juliet felt, and there's a long description. The characters have to say what's in their heart. And Juliet doesn't know what to feel. Her husband just killed her cousin. How am I supposed to feel like that? I'm supposed to be angry at him? Am I supposed to be happy that he's alive? And so all of that is going to play out in her head.
Oh, serpent-hearted with a flowering face! Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend, angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolfish, ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seem'st, a damned saint, an honourable villain. Oh, nature, what hadst thou to do in hell when thou didst devour the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter, so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
Okay. Oh, serpent hid with a flowering face. Oh, he's like a serpent, a snake that had a flower for a face, a beautiful, kind face. And then, but she's really talking about the whole thing here is how could he be either beautiful on the outside and ugly on the inside, or how could he be so deceptive that I fell in love with him and he's a murderer? He's a beautiful tyrant, a fiend angelical. Those are all oxymorons. A wolf ravening lamb, just opposite to what thou justly seemest. You're the opposite of what you seem. You're a damn Satan, an honorable villain. Nature put the spirit of a fiend in mortal paradise of such sweet flesh. You put the soul of a demon into Romeo. So maybe she's thinking, maybe he just got with me, married me to murder my cousin. So that's the way he gets at my family. Yeah, I can't believe it. And then the nurse says,
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all dissemblers. Oh, where's my man? Give me some aquavita. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
well, then there's no faith or no honesty in men. And then what are women supposed to do? Where's my man? Where's my sidekick? Give me some aquavitae. Give me some alcohol. These sorrows make me old. Now that's an exaggeration, but like, this is wearing me out. Shame come to Romeo. And you could see that Juliet is about to yell at her for saying that, even though she just said that, or something very similar. It's kind of that situation where it's like, only people that are in the group can make the joke. It's like if you're hanging out with your friends and you're like, oh, my mom's crazy. And they're like, yeah, your mom is crazy. You'd be like, whoa, 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 excuse me. Only I can say my mom is crazy. You can't say my mom is crazy. It's kind of like that. And Juliet flips out at her and she says,
Stood be thy tongue for such a wish, he was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit. For 'tis a throne where honour may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
okay, so blistered be thy tongue. That's a syntax. Let your tongue be blistered. Like, how dare you, shut your mouth. How dare you say that about him? No, he cannot be shamed. He's like too good and too perfect and too awesome. Oh, what a beast was I to chide him. I was such a beast, so a syntax. I was such a beast to chide him, to say negative things about him. And then there's going to be a lot of some back and forth, which is difficult for Juliet to process.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband?
You're going to speak bad of him, the person that killed your cousin? Well, he's my husband, though. Oh, yeah, that's a difficult thing to work through.
Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it?
Yeah, I mangled your name. I talked bad about you after just 3 hours of being married. Who am I?
But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin?
Again, wherefore means why. Why, villain, did you kill my cousin?
That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then?
So she logics through it, and I think this is pretty good logic. Why'd you kill my cousin? Well, she knows who Tybalt is. She knows the kind of person Tybalt is. That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Tybalt would have killed Romeo. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. All right, stop crying, Juliet. Your tributary drops belong to woe. So the spring, that's where water flows from. Go back to where they came from. Stop crying, Juliet. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. Yeah, Tybalt's going to kill him. Romeo had to kill him. This is all comfort. This is good. Wherefore weep I then? Why weep I then? Why do I weep then? Another syntax.
Some word there was worse than Tybalt's death that murdered me.
So, I was already dead. I was already murdered by Romeo's death. So I was already ready for worse, at the beginning of this conversation.
I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds.
Well, I'll forget it, but the memory of it is still in my brain. The memory of Romeo being dead.
Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there. Or if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not when she said Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentation might have moved.
So, a lot going on here. Banished hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. To me, Romeo being dead is worse than 10,000 Tybalts dying. That's probably an exaggeration.
that with a reward following Tybalt's death. Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead.
Yeah, the word banished, Romeo being banished, is so dead. It's like everyone I love is dead.
Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
So no words can that woe sound. No words do I have can sound the woe for Romeo's banishment. So a little bit exaggerated.
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I'll bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when there's a dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords.
All right, so I'll bring you thither, I'll bring you there. Wash they his wounds with tears. They're washing his wounds with tears. When theirs are dry for Romeo's my tears will be spent when theirs are dry, but I'm going to cry for Romeo, not for Tybalt.
Poor ropes, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Okay. Ropes, you're beguiled, you're all knotted up, like I am. Romeo's exiled, but I, a maid, die maiden widowed. I'm gonna die a virgin. Maid, maiden, those are virgins. Come, cords, nurse, I'll go to my wedding bed. And death, not Romeo, take my wedding maidenhead. Romeo's exiled, I'll never see him again. Death will take my maidenhead. Death will take my virginity, not Romeo. I'll die virgin.
Hide to your
Or I'll die of sorrow.
chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Harkee, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He's hid at Lawrence's cell.
Oh,
All right, hie to your chamber. Go to your chamber. I'll find Romeo. Hark you, listen you. Romeo will be here at night. So listen, even if he's exiled, I'm still going to get him for you.
find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
And give this ring to Romeo so he can give the last farewell to me. I may never have to see him again, but at least we can have one night together. And the scene is over.